So when using technology in my classroom, I made a Miss Catron's technology cheat sheet that has different questions that I need to ask myself when planning the lesson to make sure the technology does all these things. So some of the questions I have to ask myself is it engaging? Are the students actually going to want to use this technology again? Are they going to stay on track? Does it require a login? And that's something you'll have to set up before if it does require a login, so students know and have their username and password so there's no confusion or questions about that. You can maybe even put their different login information for different technology on their desk. Maybe laminate that and put it there so they have that for easy access. Next question, does it have real-world application? So are they going to actually use this again? Because if not, then I don't think it's necessary to use in your classroom. How many devices are needed? This is a really important one. All classrooms don't have one-on-one technology, so you might decide to put students in groups so you don't need as much technology. So that's an important thing to consider. Do students know how to use it? This is a big one. Because if students don't know how to use it and you don't go over the guidelines, then they're just going to be messing around with it, seeing what all it can do. So you need to go over those guidelines and be strict about it, so they do exactly what you want them to. Is it collaborative and interactive? So are the students not only just working with themselves, but sharing their ideas and learning from others as well? Is it curriculum based? So just make sure this technology isn't just for a time filler. Make sure it's for a purpose and it's to help their understanding of what your learning topic is for the day. Does it increase students' knowledge about the topic? So basically just what I said. Is it increasing it, not just kind of just a filler for technology, just for something to do? Make sure you have a purpose for that technology. Does it meet the needs of all students? So you might have students that learn better visually, auditorily, or just different things like that, and just make sure that technology meets those different needs. Does it meet multiple intelligences? So does it have some logical math involved? Does it, some students are musical, some people interpersonal, intrapersonal. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. And last thing I have is it age appropriate? So those technologies that have a lot of guidelines and just are confusing, you wouldn't use with 1st or 2nd grade, probably more of 5th and 6th grade. So that is what I have for my teacher checklist that I would keep by my desk. And then for the students, I have my technology checklist and things that they need to look over and make sure they're doing before and while they're doing the assignment with the technology. The first one is, am I protecting my identity? So I would go over these in class with them so they know what they mean. So the first one, just to make sure they're not giving out their personal information, like their address, if they have a phone, just different things like that to keep themselves safe. Am I being a good digital citizen? So am I following appropriate guidelines and being respectful? Am I staying on task? So they're not off in space or trying to see what else the technology does. So to make sure they stay on task. Are my words and thoughts respectful? So if this is, maybe they're doing a discussion board and they're sharing their thoughts and ideas, just to make sure that they're respectful, and which is a big thing in your classroom to go over. Am I taking care of my device? Just to make sure that students don't harm the technology. If it's a computer, make sure they're not too rough with the keyboard, just things like that to go over. And then, is this a reliable resource? So for maybe the higher grades, 4th, 5th, 6th, to go over what is a reliable resource to go over with your classroom, so they're not using like Wikipedia or other resources like that. So those are my 2 checklists that I would use in my classroom.